Oh my gosh. I'm dying. Let me just turn this down as well. Just turn it down. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Woke up not long ago. So, oh man. This has been a long week. And this is my one day off before my job has a big project first thing in the morning, so have to be up for that. Not fun, not enjoying it, but that's okay. It is what it is. Yeah. Just kind of running down the clock here, so to speak. Let me see here. Yeah, new single is out. I know obviously not everyone's listened to it from what I could see. That's okay. No problem. It'll always be there. But I just kind of wanted to talk about what plans are in the future with where I'm going with this music stuff. I'll talk more about it as time goes on, but yeah, it was a very, very necessary song, I think. I think it really was a lot for, I don't know, just my, not only creativity, like stuff I've struggled with creatively for a while, like wanting to do metal as a traditional metal artist and just all this other stuff, versus the reality of, maybe that's not really what I'm good at, which is fine. You don't have to be good at it. So it's with that said that I just, I kind of feel like, I just needed to write something that basically was like, yeah, sometimes I get really upset and I wish I could scream. But it implies that I struggle with feeling like I am okay with doing that, And that's kind of where I was at. I planned on writing this related to a totally different story. But the more that I got that song put together, the more I was like, no. This is special. This is something that speaks to me, very directly. So, God dang. I don't know why my throat's so scratchy this morning. I had coffee. Should help. Coffee is what helps you get not a sore throat, right? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so really what the process behind this was, I found a great instrumental, right? Same kind of instrumental stuff that I found with Falling Further, okay? And the artist that I worked with, he reproduces beats that he hears. So I was like, okay, this is really cool. I can just utilize this guy for making stuff. But that's admittedly where my anxiety started at first, because it doesn't sound like your traditional metal song. It doesn't have live instrumental. It doesn't have live instruments. It has VST plugins, which for some people, even for some metal bands like Infant Annihilator and stuff like that, that's not a bad thing, right? It all depends on your the honesty that you have about the music that you're making. It's just, for me, I just kind of felt like, well, I'd rather just have something that is real. So there was already a few cracks kind of forming for me, because it was like, yeah, I was able to make a song that aesthetically is a metal song, And it did talk about, you know, a lot of struggle that I have with expressing emotion, expressing creativity, that kind of thing. But on the flip side, it was like, but it's not exactly how I would have wanted it. And then even with like the singing and stuff, I was like, okay, it is how I feel, and it is the best that I could deliver, but it's not like a metal song the way I would have wanted, like a power metal or, you know, something like that. And it's okay. Like I don't have a problem with it. I just realized I think it's almost like creating a character, right? You create a character for a project, and you're glad you did it. You got the idea out there, but then you're kind of like, I think I'm good, actually. Like, it's almost like you experiment with it. You do the absolute best you can, and it's not exactly how you would have wanted it. And you have to deal with that and be like, okay, well, what does this mean? You know? Yeah. I'm just trying to think as I'm typing here. Yeah, so, you know, the guy who made it was, let me just give shout outs to the people who worked on this project. Let's see, we got, just go into here. So, oh my gosh, there we go. So Genesis Music, on Fiverr is the guy who did the instrumental. He did really, really well for both these songs, I would say, right? I think both these songs he did really, really well. And then Serhi, Serhiis, on Fiverr as well, has done the mixing for most of my singles over the last few days, or the last few times I've, you know, put out music. Really, really good guy. Super manageable, very, you know, like works really well with a variety of styles. So really, really enjoy him. Okay. Now, and then also forgot to mention, I did not do the screaming here. This was done by Eric Castiglia. I put his name in the thumbnail and the song itself, so it says featuring Eric Castiglia. Incredible dude. Incredible dude. I gave him a script for what I wanted, and he delivered that, and it was like, okay, cool. Absolutely did an amazing job. Yeah, no complaints for anyone on the production team. They all did a good job. I just think as I worked on this more, I realized I did what I set out to do, but it wasn't exactly what I imagined, which I was a little unfortunate. I felt a little unfortunate with that. But, yeah. I just, you know, it's like I gave it a good shot. I really did what I wanted to do. I think I conveyed the emotion that I wanted to convey. And that's kind of it. You know, I didn't really feel like it meant much more than that. I know that sounds kind of bad, but I mean, I'm just being honest. But that's okay. You know, I think it's an onwards and upwards situation. Yeah. So, what does that mean next? Well, it means I'm not going the avenue of metal. I think I'm kind of moving away from that, to that degree. You know, I know that's a little frustrating for some. I know for others, it's like, hey, it's kind of a, you know, it's cool or whatever. I'm just,